right. Welcome back to another episode of my movie review series. Man, I tell you, another episode. I'm getting close to 20 here. Ooh, boy. So, yeah, man. Episode 16. Getting close to 20. I wonder what I'm going to do on my 20th. I wonder. Well, anyway, last week I said I was going to do a review on the first X-Men movie. But before I do that, I just want to say something that is a little bit funny. I did not realize last week. I did not realize that Logan was coming out in theaters last night. No, this weekend. Last night it came out in theaters. Today is Saturday, so it came out in theaters last night. I did not realize that last week, and I said, that I was going to do X-Men this week. That was purely coincidental. Okay, purely coincidental. I did not plan that at all. I mean, I planned to do X-Men this week, tonight, right now, but I didn't plan to do it. I didn't plan to watch the movie and do the review on the same weekend as Logan. So that was very coincidental. I mean, and that's been happening a lot lately, Not just me, but other people that I've been talking to. We've all had these huge, crazy coincidences, and we could all tell a story about it. But yeah, I tell you, man, yeah, very coincidental. Well, anyway, yeah, this is episode 13 of my 13. Wow, wait a minute. This is episode 16 of my movie review series, and I am reviewing X-Men. Yep, broke out the videotape. I tell you, man, how many videotapes I got? Well, all the way up until Hulk. That's how many videotapes I got of these superhero movies. So yeah, and Hulk was in 2014. 2004. 2004. Hulk was in 2004. My mind is I'm distracted somehow, some way. I don't know. Well, anyway, yeah, X-Men, this movie right here. This movie. I'm reviewing this movie right now. And before I do it, let's go through the reviews of this movie. Yeah, before I do my review, I'm gonna read the review. Yeah, smart, funny, and loaded with eye-popping action. Mm-hmm. I'm reviewing this tape. But yeah, they got that right though. Yeah, smart, funny, and loaded with eye-popping action. Even though the gentleman from NY1 said that, with a person, I don't know if it's a guy or a chick, but the person that said that, yeah, eye-popping action, smart and funny. I didn't exactly. This movie's not a comedy, but what do you mean by that? Funny. The movie is smart, I'll tell you that. But that's the thing about X-Men, man. X-Men is very smart. The storyline, the premise, it's very, 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 very smart. I mean, the way they capture reality and blend it with the fantasy, put a lot of comic book action into it. Now, I'm not just talking about the movie. I'm talking about X-Men. Period. X-Men. Period. The whole brand. the way they done that, man, I tell you, he is very smart. I mean, whatever went on in the world at that time, and at that time, meaning in the 1960s, where it was a real, boy, if your ass wasn't white, then it was a real turbulent, dark, difficult time for you. That's all there is to it. That's all there's to it. I mean, race relations in America at that time, not now, because now had not improved, but at that time, man, oh man, yeah, like I said, man, if your ass wasn't white, you know, or if you were any other ethnicity, if you were any other diverse, then you weren't gonna have a very easy time, man. Not at all. So yeah, everything that was going on at that time frame, they incorporated into the comics. Only thing is, not only is white or black, it's human and mutant. Because if you're different, then you're going to be socially persecuted for it. That's why the summary of the X-Men animated series in season 1, if you can remember this, the summary was people fear what they don't understand. That was the whole summary. And that's what they should have really emphasized more in these X-Men films, especially in the sequels. I'm talking about the past X-Men films, pre MCU, pre things that's going on right now. X-Men is not part of the MCU, not at all. But what I'm getting at, right? Before 2008, that first wave. That's exactly what this movie is. This movie is a part of that first wave. Like I said last week, you had Blade, you had this movie X-Men, and you had Spider-Man. And then came Daredevil and Fantastic Four and Ghost Rider. And I think that was it. And then, oh no, wait, Hulk, of course, Hulk. But yeah, I think that was it because in 2008, that's when Iron Man came in. But I'll get into that much later on. Right now, I'm talking about X-Men, especially this movie right here. The first movie. So yeah, if you was different, then you will be socially persecuted for looking very, very different. You get what I'm saying? I hope you do. So yeah, man. And plus, with the two individuals, Professor Charles Xavier and Magneto, to the comics, that's who they were. But once you really look at it, once you really get the symbolism of it, Professor Charles Xavier is pretty much like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Magneto is pretty much like Malcolm X. Martin Luther King, he wanted to differentize this whole uh, civil rights act. He wanted to elevate it. He wanted to evolve it. He wanted equality in people of color and people not of color, opposed to Malcolm X. You know, he wanted to have a similar thing, but in a much more aggressive, much more violent nature. You know what I'm saying? Dr. King wanted peace. Malcolm X, he wanted the same thing, but he wanted to be very, very forceful, you know, by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what not just me, but other people, that's what we got out of it. So yeah, X Men very smartly written, I tell you that. And then we have well, let's go beyond that. I don't want to get too deep into it. I really wouldn't want to get into it in that way because that's not what I'm here for. This is talk about this movie here, X Men. Yeah, so with this movie we had. Well, let's do something I did not do last week. Let's go through the pros and cons. So yeah, this movie, X Men, it starred, Patrick Stewart. Before we knew who Patrick Stewart was as Professor Xavier, if you were sci-fi fans, you would know him as Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise in Star Trek: The Next Generation, the TV series, and then the movies that came after it. The end of the series, but they continue it at the same time. As a matter of fact, the series is still going on with the first Next Generation movie, Star Trek Generations. that was coming out, and the series was still going on for a little bit. So but when I talk about Star Trek, I'm talking about X Men. So yeah, yeah, Patrick Stewart, and then we have another legendary actor, Ian McKellen, who played Magneto, and then we have Miss Halle Berry. Ooh, Halle Berry. Hey, us black dudes, we got our dream girl. And just happened to be Halle Berry. But yeah, she plays Storm. And then we have Famke Jensen as Jean Grey, James Marsden as Cyclops. And then, well, there's a lot of actors. I want to shoot through this real quick. Anna Paquin, she played Rogue. This smoking hot supermodel at the time, Rebecca Romijn Stamos. She was married to John Stamos at that time. Well, anyway, she played Mystique. And then we have Ray Park, fresh off the heels of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Him playing the most memorable character, the best part of the entire movie, him playing Darth Maul. Fresh off the heels of playing Darth Maul, he comes and do this movie a year after. This movie came out in 2000, Star Wars 2009. Yeah, fresh off the heels of that, he plays Toad. A different way they interpreted Toad in this movie, because Toad, he was in the comics, he's still a gross son of a bitch, but he was not as much of as a badass, because Ray Park, an actual martial artist, he made Toad into a still playful nature, but he still made him into a little bit of a badass. He incorporated that martial arts style into his actions. So yeah. Oh yeah, Tyler Mane, yeah, professional wrestler, even though I never heard of him. It's been from the Indies. But yeah, Tyler Mane, now much more famous as playing Michael Myers these days as he was as playing Sabretooth in this movie. But I tell you, man, I'm gonna get to the cons later, but yeah, you know, at least I got Sabretooth in this movie. Why? I'll get to that later. A little bit later. Bruce Davison as Senator Edward Kelly. And then we have the man himself. I saved him for last for obvious reasons. Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine. Let's go, bub. All right, you egg-sucking piece of gutter trash. You always like pushing around people smaller than you. Well, I'm smaller. Try pushing me. Hey, Wolverine, I had to go with the animated series on that one. I mean, come on, what'd you expect? It's X-Men, okay? The only thing that is locked in your head when you think of X-Men is the animated series. Unless you're one of those casual fans that only watch the movies, then okay, that's for you. So yeah. Okay, yeah, the pros on this movie. We got we got the movie itself. I mean, an X-Men movie. I mean, come on, X-Men movie. We talked about it, we wished for it, and then when it came out, we got it. Finally got it. I mean, we did not get all of the X-Men. I mean, we did not get Gambit, we did not get Beast. We didn't get all of the X-Men. Not everybody that we thought we were going to, not everybody that we saw in the animated series, that we thought we were going to get this movie. This is not X-Men animated series, the movie, not like, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, you got the animated series that evolved into a movie, it's not like that, this is X-Men, the comics, we're going to get as many characters as we can, but we can't get all of them. You can't get all of your favorites. That's what the sequels are for. So there you have it. We're going to get your favorites, but not all of your favorites. We're going to get the important cast members, the important people. You're going to get them. So Gambit, we will see him later. Beast, we will see him later. So yeah, yes, that's pretty much all the pros that I can really give you. I mean, we have an X-Men movie, and it's good. It's real good. I mean, we could have got an X-Men movie that completely sucked, but we didn't. We got an X-Men movie that was good. It was real good. I mean, yeah. What the review say? Smart, funny, and loaded with eye-popping action. Yes, we got it right here. We got it. There you go, baby. You wanted it, you got it. There it is, baby. That's all I can say in the pros. Okay, now let's lean over to the cons, man. Not only that we got the X-Men movie, not only that we got our favorite characters, it was a little bit unfortunate that we did not get the character in our characters. I mean, you got Sabretooth in this movie, but he was very underutilized in this movie. Sabretooth, I mean, if you want to talk about Sabretooth, if you want to talk about Wolverine and Sabretooth and the relationship that they have, not only we got what we wanted, but we did not get what we want. I remember reading in Wizard magazine. The Wizard is a comic book magazine. Not just a comic book. It's a pop culture magazine, but it focuses on comics. All types of all types of brands. They will let you know on when the next issue of Batman is coming out, the next issue of Spider-Man, next issue of X-Men, what's going on in the current Superman issue, and what's going to happen in the next issue. And they will advertise the new hot toys that they have. You know, and they will talk about the rumor mill of the next movie that's coming out. I remember one magazine, they was talking about Spider-Man 4. Who's going to be in Spider-Man 4 is Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst coming back in Spider-Man 4. Is the Lizard going to be in Spider-Man 4? Are we going to see Carnage in Spider-Man 4? There's a whole lot of questions. I remember that, but Spider-Man 4 never happened, obvious reasons. But anyway, I remember reading Wizard, and I was reading about the X-Men movie, and there was just one this is one thing I read on, and I guess you could say that they threw a hint in there. It was not a spoiler, of course, but they threw a nice little hint in there that we was going to see a big fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth on top of the Statue of Liberty. I mean, for me, me reading that, I'm thinking, oh shit. Whew. A fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth on top of Statue of Liberty? That's how this thing really gonna go? Damn. Shit. Let's go, baby. And when I saw that fight here in this movie, right there, I saw it in theaters too. So when I saw that fight in this movie on that big ass screen, damn. We got a fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth. It was a big fight. It was pretty good. I mean, the only thing is, we did not get a great epic fight. We got a real good fight. It was a big fight. It was real good. I mean, hell, if I can run a list on a top 10 fight scenes from comic book films, that fight would definitely be in that top 10. I'm not going to say it's going to be high on the list because we got comic book films here, but that fight will be in that top 10. I mean, hell, it still measures up, Jack. But yeah, even though we got a fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth, we did not get a fight. We did not get a verbal jab at each other. Did not get verbal jabs, because they didn't know each other in this movie. They did not know each other. I mean, this is Wolverine and Sabretooth we're talking about. And if you know me, if you've seen my other videos, you would know I would give a quote from a certain movie I'm reviewing. Well, not this time. I want to give a quote from the animated series because, god damn it, the animated series is so good. I mean, if you have not seen the animated series before, then you better get yourself a Hulu account. Jump on that right now. Check that shit out. And I tell you, Jack, you will not be disappointed. Not in no way be disappointed in watching the X-Men anime series. Let me tell you. Get on that shit right now. So yeah, it's on Hulu, not Netflix. It's on Hulu. So get on that shit right now. So yeah, even though we got a fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth, we did not get the verbal. So yeah, I'm going to give you some nice little quotes here. That's it. I'm tired of playing around. Ooh, what are you gonna do? Eat your spinach? Let's see what you have for breakfast. Does it sound like she fires her blade and hit Sabretooth in the back, and he falls right down to Wolverine. Ugh, brush sometime. Well, yeah. So yeah, what's wrong, Wolverine? No kiss and makeup. Kiss this. We used to be old pals, even worked together, but we had a little misunderstanding. Yeah, right. You wasted some friends of mine for no reason, and I misunderstood. So, you're doing your dirty work for Magneto now, eh? You used to backstab people for fun, or turn you to a rat for hire. I heard you got soft. I was curious. I think maybe I heard right. All right, you egg-sucking piece of gutter trash. You always like pushing around people smaller than you. Well, I'm smaller. Try pushing me. Ah! Of course, I had to get back to that because that was one of the best lines ever in that cartoon. In that cartoon. Oh my god. I'm going crazy, man. Going crazy over some X-Men. The X-Men animated series. Okay? I'll link the opening credits of that anime series in the bottom. I'll give you the opening of that opening credits, that theme song. I'll give you that link in the bottom, in the description. And I'll give you the cover of that theme song. Yeah, this cat, I cannot pronounce his name. Nestens, something, Nestens 1117. He made a cover of the X-Men theme song on guitar. And he killed that shit. I'll give you that link in the bottom too. I'll tell you, man, even though we did not get what we wanted to see in a Sabretooth Wolverine fight, we did get a pretty good fight. That I'll give them credit for, We got a great fight, but that's a pro. We got a great fight, but we did not get the verbal jabs that they hit at each other like we did in the anime series. That was the con. Now, for some reason, people have a problem with Halle Berry playing Storm. I don't know if it's because of my but I did not have a problem with Halle Berry as Storm. Not at all. I mean, she threw in the African accent in this movie, and then the sequels, she suddenly lost it. That's the only thing I can get a little problem with. Just a little problem. That's just a petty problem. That's the only thing I can do. But other than that, I did not have a problem with Miss Halle Berry playing Storm. I tell you one thing though, I know it was fun to have a nice little older guy, a little younger guy, older woman relationship between Cyclops and Jean. It was a little fun to see that. Jean, an older chick in this movie, and she's a doctor. I mean, hey, if you wanted somebody to play a doctor, you could have got Beast. I mean, he's the real doctor, Dr. Hank McCoy, Dr. Henry Hank McCoy. But they did not do that, so they made Jean a doctor in this movie. Okay, a combination of Beast and Jean, fine. We got Jean, but she's a doctor like Beast. Okay, fine. Hey, you can't get everybody. Okay. Okay, I understand. I understand. Yeah, we got Beast later on in a bad movie. But okay, we got understand. We got him. We got him. Okay, cool. Hey, and yeah, that's another con too. That Gene is a doctor. Yeah, it's yeah. I remember when my we showed this movie to my nephew, my brother and I. Well, my brother in a way. I was in the room. I came in the room when he was watching it, and my nephew, who also watched the anime series, he's seen Rogue being chained up, and she just screaming out help, help me, somebody help me, and she's chained up. Now, my nephew, being very young at the time and watching the anime series, he would see Rogue as not the vulnerable damsel in distress as she was in this movie, but he would see Rogue as the super strong Miss Badass that she was in the cartoon, in the anime series. He would see that Rogue, and then they would give us this Rogue, the vulnerable damsel in distress in this movie. So him watching her, like, help me, somebody help me. He's sitting there like, why can't she just break the chains, go down there and save him? Yeah, break the chains, fly down there and save him. He was like that. We had to explain to him that she didn't. Oh boy, it's a little complicated to explain, but I'll break it down in a nutshell for you. She did not join the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and side with Mystique, and she did not go on this mission to steal powers from Ms. Marvel. She did not do that in this movie. There's no way she could have done it because they didn't write it in that way. So we got Rogue before she got the powers. She was just absorbing the mutant power. She didn't permanently absorb Ms. Marvel's powers and take it in as her own and utilize it as her own. She did not do that. So, take something loose. So I guess you can say that's a con too. But hey, in this movie, it's a nice little pro also. So, but I gotta tell you something, man. I gotta tell you something. The casting of Wolverine in this movie, it was very interesting. Yeah, Hugh Jackman, he wasn't even first thought of. Nobody didn't. Who the hell is Hugh Jackman? That was the question. They cast a guy named Hugh Jackman to play super badass Wolverine. Who is Hugh Jackman? We don't know who this guy is. So yeah, here's something funny though. They got before they got Hugh, they were thinking about getting Douglas Scott. Unfortunately, Douglas Scott was unfortunately or fortunately, depends how you want to look at it. He was busy. He had scheduling conflicts. He was busy doing Mission Impossible 2 at that time, so he couldn't do X-Men. So Wolverine was not him. And then they thought of getting Russell Crowe. But Russell Crowe, he was hot off the heels of Gladiator, and when he read the part, to him, it looked very similar to Maximus. To him, okay. But since Russell Crowe is a Aussie, he recommended a fellow Aussie. in Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine. So yeah, Hugh Jackman. Who the hell's Hugh Jackman? Well, we found out that he's a 6-footer stage actor. 6-footer, mind you. 6 feet 2, I think. He's a tall guy, basically. He's a tall guy. Wolverine is like 5'3", but Hugh Jackman is he's a real tall gentleman. So they got him to play Wolverine, and this is like 1998, 1999. When they were first casting for this movie, when they were developing this movie, and this was that time. So this is pre-internet, so nobody couldn't throw any verbal crucifixion to Hugh Jackman like they did with Ben Affleck when he was announced as playing Batman. They did not do that. They couldn't do that. Fuck you, Hugh Jackman. Who's Hugh Jackman? He's too tall to play Wolverine. They couldn't do that. So, I guess they wrote letters to 20th Century Fox and Marvel Comics. They did everything they tried to not get Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine. And then they saw him play Wolverine in this movie. And they shut up. They shut the hell up. Okay. That was almost 20 years ago now. The movie came out in 2000 and it's 2017. Yeah, that was, when we first saw Hugh Jackman play Wolverine. Yeah, everybody shut up. That was almost 20 years ago. Now, today, we kept seeing Hugh Jackman play Wolverine. And we kept liking it more and more and more. Now, today, Hugh Jackman will no longer be playing Wolverine. Those same people that say, fuck you, Hugh Jackman, you ain't no Wolverine, yeah. Those same people now are saying, please, Hugh Jackman, give us 10 more years. We love you as Wolverine. Yeah. Those same cats. They went from to no, and more thumbs after that. Yeah, they want him to play Wolverine now. Yeah. Where were you 20 years ago, huh? Where were you 10 years ago? Well, you said that 10 years ago because you was liking him. So yeah, man. Yeah. How crazy is that, huh? 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 Yeah, I gotta tell you though, man. This movie, that's this movie. This is the one. This movie, this is the one that started it all. Started it all. This movie. Without this, we wouldn't have a much better sequel in X-Men 2 or X2, X-Men United. We did not have that. And we did not have Days of Future Past. We did not have Apocalypse. In case you ever noticed, I skipped over X-Men The Last Stand. We did not have that shit either. But yeah. And we did not have Logan. So, all you naysayers out there, pissing that morning for no reason. What do you gotta say now? So yeah, man, X-Men. This movie started it all, Jack. Started it all. We just can't get enough of these meetings. We can't. We won't. Now that they're working on another X-Men, they will be anyway. They just threw out the mention of it. X-Men Supernova. That's coming in a few years. I think 2018. They'll be working on it. So yeah, man, be on the lookout. It's coming. So yeah, there's nothing much more to me to say on this. Pros, cons. I threw out quotes from the anime series, and you will please check out that. Please, you will check out that link below. I mean, hey, why wouldn't you? X-Men anime series, the opening, the theme song, and then the cover after that. And I'll give you the trailer for this movie before that. So yeah, go ahead, check this shit out, man. Do it again. If you haven't before, do it now. So yeah, check this shit out. X-Men. It's one of the best movies, one of the best comic book movies still to this day. I have not watched this movie in a very long time, and I watched it today before I gave this review. And damn, it just holds up, man. It's still a hell of a movie. Whew. Craziness. Craziness, man. I'm feeling good. I'm pumped. Let's go, man. I'm out. So yeah, next week, man. Episode 17 is coming next week, and yeah. What am I going to talk about then? I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to talk about X2. I'm not going to do that because I got something coming very special with that movie. Something very special. Not just that movie, but a few other comic book movie sequels. I got something coming very special. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. But yeah, next week I got something else coming for you. Another movie review. So keep it locked. And I'll be back for you. So yeah, man. Let's do this. Let's rock this. Yeah, and the episode 20 of this movie review is coming too. So, what am I going to do there? We'll just have to find out. Wait and see. Take care. And don't let the bed bugs bite. Yeah, baby.